The truth is, this thing I'm going to say is going to be very controversial, but I'll say it anyways.
Mhm. What's happening? Are people for Atiku Abubakar, are people obedient, or are they saying that, you know what, let's give Tinubu another 4 years?
You want to get me in trouble?
No.
Nigerians are united that Tinubu has done worse than Buhari, and I didn't believe that I will ever say these words out loud, that somebody can be worse than Buhari. On whether he is going to lose the election come January, the answer to that is no. Buhari did everything to make sure Tinubu lose, right? But then we didn't defend our votes. And then we allowed Tinubu into power. So now he controls everything from INEC to the judiciary, the legislative branch. How do you unseat such? How do you unseat such a politician? He has his tentacles everywhere. So we have three opposition against Tinubu that is already in charge and in control of all the state machinery. How do you defeat him when your votes are already splitted several ways?
Elections are around the corner. There's Atiku Abubakar, there's Peter Obi, and then of course there's many others. And then there's Tinubu, the president, who wants to retain his seat. Now, as a Nigerian who knows what's happening on the ground, who knows the mood on the ground, what's happening? Are people for Atiku Abubakar? Are people obedient, or are they saying that, you know what, let's give Tinubu another 4 years? What's the mood? What's the mood right now politically on the ground?
You want to get me in trouble?
No, just speak your mind.
Okay. Well, nobody. Okay, the short answer to that: nobody is saying they should give Tinubu 4 more years. In fact, some APC people that I have talked to, that is his own party, the All Progressive Congress, that I've spoken with, if they want to be honest, they tell you that they know some of the things can be better, but they are sometimes adamant that his politics or his policies, that there was no choice, no other option available, so he had to make the tough decisions and all that. But they also agree that the country is more difficult for everyone, that insecurity has gotten worse, and that he could have done some things differently. So on that, I believe Nigerians are united that Tinubu has done worse than Buhari, and I didn't believe that I would ever say these words out loud, that somebody can be worse than Buhari. So Nigerians are united in that Tinubu has done terribly, but on whether he is going to lose the election come January, the answer to that is no. I think Tinubu already won this election, or he is already going to be sworn in, because he didn't even win the first one. He is going to be sworn in come May next year because of the things he had put in place to make sure that happens. First, you need to see the structure of the APC, the ruling party. The time that Nigerians had, or the opportunity we had to make sure APC leaves power or left power, was 2023, when the outgoing president at the time, Buhari, was not so interested in getting Tinubu elected president, right? In fact, his party was doing a lot to frustrate him during the 2023 election. The Naira crisis and all that made life so difficult for Nigerians in election season, so much so that people wanted to vote out the APC, and they did, right? Imagine a sitting president making policies that would ensure his party lose in that election. That was what Buhari
Mm.
did basically. The Naira redesign policy, that was brainless, that was senseless. It made life so difficult for people. People died, right? His own states were suing him. That is, APC controlled states were suing, right? So
Mm.
I felt sometimes when I
Wow.
think around this, I felt Buhari did everything to make sure Tinubu lose, right? But then we didn't defend our votes. And then we allowed Tinubu into power. So now he controls everything from INEC to the judiciary, the legislative branch, all of them. In fact, okay, now as a country, every country has national anthem, right? I think it is now well established. If you are even in primary school, you should know that a country has a national anthem, right? That you sing when your president comes up, right? If the
Yeah.
president of the
Yeah.
United States, for example, comes to an event, it is the national anthem of the United States that they sing, right?
Yes.
I believe it's same thing in Kenya. When Ruto attends an event, you sing the Kenyan national anthem, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's supposed to be the normal way everywhere, right? It
Absolutely. Yeah.
doesn't happen
Everywhere.
like it doesn't happen like that in Nigeria.
Why?
Because Tinubu has an anthem, why should you be singing Nigerian national anthem?
What do you mean Tinubu was an anthem? There's a specific song for him?
Yes.
so
You
so
didn't
that's what
know?
people sing the anthem?
The National Assembly, that is the Nigerian National Assembly, where they pass laws about Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
Anytime, anytime Tinubu visits there, they don't sing the national anthem. When he's coming up, they don't sing the Nigerian national anthem. They sing on your mandate we shall stand.
On your mandate we shall stand. What?
hmm hmm That's Tinubu's anthem. So they sing
Uh,
it to welcome him. I'm telling you
uh,
about an equal branch of government, the legislative branch, which is equal to the executive. Not the in democracy, it is equal, right? I hope I'm not making these things up.
yes, yes, yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So the executive branch and the legislative branch are on equal footing here. Yeah. But anytime
Yeah.
one of them, which is the executive, comes to the legislative branch, maybe to defend his budget or to present budget or something, whatever, they sing praising him. That is his equals sing to praise him. So basically, Tinubu is king. Tinubu is king. Not even King Charles has that much power in the United Kingdom.
Man. Ugh.
King Charles, his family owns the United Kingdom. He doesn't have that much power over the UK that Tinubu has in Nigeria. And now, before the 2027 election, APC controls 31 of the 36 states.
That's
So
almost wow.
that's everything
So
now. That's everything.
that's everything. It's only remaining 5 states, right?
Mhm.
Wow.
And then if you go to these states where the APC controls, you as an opposing party, you can't do any events. You can't do anything. You can't organize. They will frustrate you. There is so how do you unseat such a politician? He has his tentacles everywhere, right? He and
Wow.
then if you talk about the law enforcement, he pays them, right? How do they get their salary? So there is no independence. The other day, before the Osun State election, The EFCC said they had frozen the Ocean State's accounts, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the commotion everywhere is that okay, EFCC are trying to frustrate this. This is the APC's handwork. They are trying to take over. They are trying to make sure the opposition party loses the election. Blah blah blah. And so Tinubu instructs the EFCC chairman to unfreeze the account. This is
Mm.
an this is supposed to this is supposed to be an independent body, and then
Yeah.
they go ahead to unfreeze the account. So tell me how independent they are. If the president can just simply call, hey, unfreeze the account. If you are telling me that the president can unfreeze the account through a phone call, that means he can also tell them to freeze the account. So where is the separation of powers? Then you're telling me the the election next year, he doesn't plan to lose. He doesn't plan to lose. Now look at what they did. The 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 in the FCT we don't have governor. The FCT serves like a state of its own as well, but it's not a governor. It's a minister appointed by the president that runs the FCT. So when they got into power, they sort of built houses and gave to judges.
Mm-hmm.
That's as gifts.
You give to judges.
So
That's bribery. That's bribery.
well, bribery is not a word that exists in Nigeria anymore. It's gifts. They built houses, millions of naira, and gave them as gifts to those judges. Then, if every Nigerian election is usually decided in court. So, when your case is before a judge that got a house gift, who do you think is going to win?
Of course.
Who do you think is going to win?
The person who gave the judge the gift.
So, the
Yeah.
structure is in place. The structure is in place. It's not like I'm saying Nigerians shouldn't vote. Of course, these things can change, right? You can make this election so unriggable. Do you understand? Like you can make sure the popular vote has like maybe your candidate is having like 50 million votes and Tinubu is having like 3 million votes. So he will have it's become almost impossible, right? Except
Mm.
scenarios like that. And then you make sure that the people coming to conduct the election, you don't give them any chance at all to change anything. Except that I saw a video, I think, was it last night or 2 nights ago? Someone was saying that to the NYSC, that's National Youth Service Corps members in Nigeria, they help to conduct elections. So he was saying that to the NYSC members, if you come and you're telling us that you don't have the password to upload the election, we'll beat you. It was so funny. And
Wow.
I was telling my wife that this is the only way you stop the rigging. The people should be ready to put their skin in the game. Otherwise, these people already won the election. And I don't like to use that word win because it will seem like they actually conducted a free and fair election and they won. No, they don't care about the figures appearing in your paper, right? Because they know at the end of the day, Nigerians are very meek, very docile. So they'll tell you that this is the person that win and their word is law. So you are not able to do anything about it. And then I think the opposition is also making it very easy for Tinubu to retain power, right? You
Mm.
look at Atiku Abubakar, that is now a perennial presidential candidate. He runs and runs and runs and never gets tired of running, even though he has never won. He keeps running. He doesn't care whether the country works or not. He just wants to be president. So when you have men like that with that sort of greed, how do you build a political environment where values mean anything, right? So you have Peter Obi running in the opposition, you have Atiku Abubakar running in the opposition, and I learned the governor of Oyo State, Makinde, who is said to be one of the performing governors. is also running now in the opposition. So we have three opposition against Tinubu that is already in charge and in control of all the state machinery. How do you defeat him when your votes are already splitted several ways? So the opposition don't want to unite and think about the country first. That is a big problem for us. If we are not able to come together and think of a way to get him out of power first, then I think we are lost. We are lost. They tried to form some sort of coalition, but it fell apart because Tinubu, in as much as we know he doesn't have the interest of the country at heart, he's a ruthless politician. He knows what he's doing. And
Mm.
I like to tell people that this man, he has been in this game since 1999. He has been calculating. That was not the first time he got into politics, anyways. I'm only saying that from 1999, he has a blueprint for what he wants to do. He has been calculating this, always playing the long game, right?
Mm.
And then you guys are just up and down. You don't even know what you want. Election is just few months from now. They don't have any united front. Okay, right now I'm not even hearing so much about Peter Obi's race anymore. So it's
Wow.
scary because as it
Wow.
is now, I pity the Nigerian voters because now they can't just vote anybody. You understand? We need a candidate to vote for, right? But then the candidates can't
Yeah.
even decide who they want to put in front of the voters. So what do you want Nigerians to do? Because again, this is democracy, right?
Mm.
And in a democracy like this, they need a candidate they can vote for. But then we have this arrangement that I okay, let me say the truth is, this thing I'm going to say is going to be very controversial, but I'll say it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we continue this 4 years festival of elections, nothing is going to change. Election to us here in Nigeria is a festival. Every 4 years, we join line, we vote for somebody, and then we go back home and wait for the next election cycle. Because we already know that this person we're voting in is not going to do anything, right? So
Mm.
the more we continue to repeat the same old things, the more the same things we are going to see. Nothing is going to change. And I think the idea of democracy is meant for a highly educated society, population, right? The people need to have some level of education, right? To
Yes.
make informed choices. If educated citizens read policies and understand campaign promises, they vote better. But when you can come to a campaign ground and tell the people, uh, I am your brother, right? We are
Mm.
from the same village. You should vote for me. I'm your tribe. It is our turn. That is what a presidential candidate said in the last election. You are
Mm.
garnering support from the idea of tribe. Now, if you tell Nigerians what happened in Rwanda and try to educate them on how tribalism, bigotry can lead to serious problems for the country, they start calling you names. But there is history. There's history to show that where the line we're treading is very, very dangerous. Now, critical thinking is another very needed thing you need in your society to have a working democracy, right? People should be able to question their leaders, should be able to spot false information and not just take everything in as they are being given. You are not a machine, you're a human being. So if someone says something, you should be able to ask questions, right? When
Yes.
you have a population that is enlightened to that level that they can think and ask questions on their own, they can then be given the right to make the right decisions at the polling unit, at the polling stations during elections for democracy. But we don't have that. We don't have that. Then, when you talk about democracy, they say it is a human right. Everybody should have the right to decide who rules over them. The question is, are these people deciding? Are they the one deciding? Now, let's look at Nigeria now, right? Examine the voting population carefully. Nigerian politicians right now, they are ensuring that the quality of education in the country drop every year. Schools are not funded. The last, okay, my mom was a primary school teacher. She taught in the primary school for 35 years, right?
Wow.
Yeah, she taught in primary school for 35 years in public primary school. So I know firsthand how public primary schools used to look. Now, in 2026, ask any Nigerian in your audience, ask any of them to visit any public primary school and take a snapshot and send to you. I'm telling you, anyone, be it in Lagos, Abuja, anyone, let them visit anyone, public primary school, and just snap the place and send to you. These schools are supposed to be funded by the government, right? That is how you keep education accessible to the average person. They are no longer funded. They either loot the money, they don't, the roofs are leaking. Was it January this year? I went to one public school in Benue State. That one had no roof at all. No roof. Not talk of desk in the classroom. The children, they sit on the floor. Sometimes they arrange stones to sit on. That is the learning condition. So education is no longer important to them. And then teachers are not paid. Some are underpaid. So they go home thinking whether what they are doing is even worth it. There are professors that question whether the years they have spent in school learning these things, whether it's even worth it at all.
Yeah.
That is education. And then there are people in authority that consider questioning them rebellion, right? So if you question something your state governor is doing, you are going to be prosecuted. So in such a society, you are raising fanatics. Fanaticism has taken over the society we have. And then we have lost the definition of basic values, right? So in Nigeria right now, right and wrong depends on how much you have. Do you understand? So you can have a popular person who is very wealthy. He will do anything he likes. And then when you try to point out that, hey, what this person is doing is not correct, they'll tell you, how much do you have? Do you have money? See, you want to correct rich man, Abi? That is the society we have. Do you understand? So now, in a society where right and wrong is determined by how much you are worth, you can't question your leaders because they'll call you rebellious and even throw up charges against you. Schools are not funded. Professionals are getting tired of practicing what they studied in school, including medical doctors. In places in a societies like this, democracy is not a good system of government because it becomes a weapon in the hands of powerful and rich elite. Because tell me now, if the wealthy politician can mobilize people and give them funds to go against his opponents, his enemies, do you think you stand a chance against him? When a politician can use money to buy votes, do you think people care what he stands for? His values take backseats. Nobody cares about his values. Nobody cares what certificate he holds. Nobody cares whether he has even been to school. He has money. That's all that matters. And so when somebody flash money, they believe that this person is successful because he has money and money justifies whatever else. So he has the right to do anything. He knows how to make money. He has money. So whatever idea you think you have, do you have money? If you don't have money, nobody will listen to you, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So all they do is when such a person does something terrible, they they mobilize their fans. Now that's why I'm saying it's now fanaticism. Yeah, do one or two giveaways, right? And then you have a mob behind them that is ready to tear you down if you criticize them. And then they build a cult-like following, and they can never be wrong. So in a society like that, issue-based politics takes the backseat. People no longer vote based on the issue or values. It's now a cult, and each cult must
Mm.
defend their color, right?
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's what it
You
is.
know, I saw the cost of living in Nigeria has shot up ever since uh, Tinubu became president. The cost of fuel has skyrocketed, um, and then the currency is also suffering. The currency is also doing bad as well. And with all that, with all those factors in a Tinubu presidency, it's very, very sad that there are some people who will wake up in the morning on election day to put a tick or whatever fingerprint on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's name. What do you tell to like what do you tell such people? What do you tell such people?
Well, um, quite frankly, I don't know what to say to them because they are not even going to listen, right? I had a conversation with one of such people, and all he was telling me was how politics is a game and the best strategist wins, and that Tinubu is the best strategist he has ever seen. So he's going to vote for Tinubu. It doesn't matter what I say, he's going to vote for Tinubu. So we have people that think the leadership of a country is like Arsenal, Chelsea, like football. I am an Arsenal fan, so I will always support Arsenal no matter what. You are a Chelsea fan, so you should always support Chelsea no matter what. That is how politics is in Nigeria. So a Tinubu fan, there is nothing you are going to tell. And I use the word fan because that is what it is. It is fandom. It is fun. These are fans. These politicians, they are called heroes now. That's what they have built themselves up to be. They are celebrities. They are not leaders. These are not leaders. These are not public officials anymore. They are not public servants. They are
Mm.
they are they are the court heroes, the court leaders. And each court, like I said, must defend their colors. So their followers, they don't care anything you have to say. If Nigerians wake up and see Tinubu on the road eating baby, they will still vote for him. His followers will still vote for him. Do you understand what I'm
Wow.
saying? So
Wow.
it's not like you show them enough and then they say, did this happen? No, they know that it happened. So the information doesn't even do much anymore. People are suffering and still willing to vote. Like people are able the crazy thing about some of the Nigerian voters is that they are able to separate their suffering from the decisions of their leaders. Do
Mm.
you get the picture? Somebody can go to the market today and realize that they can no longer afford a crate of egg, but they are able to separate that from the decisions Tinubu made. They will rather blame the farmer or the market woman selling eggs at a particular price. That is what we have right now. So the decision, in fact, the only way is to try to teach them that there are consequences to decisions. And I don't know how to teach an adult that, because there was a time my baby, my first daughter, when I think she was 1 or 2, so she was playing with candlelight. The mom kept telling her, "Don't! It's going to burn your hand. Don't! It's going to burn your hand." She was struggling. She wants to touch the candle light.
Mm.
So I told the mom, "Leave her. Let her touch it." So just the mom said, "No, that what do you mean? How will you allow? She's just a baby." I said, "Yes, I know she's a baby, but this lesson she wants to learn now, it will stick. She will never forget it." So I allowed her. Her hand just glazed over the candle and she realized how hot it was. Till today, if she sees candle, she goes the other way. Right?
Mm.
But that is a
Lesson
child.
learned.
Lesson
Mm.
learned. But an adult in Nigeria, oh God, you have seen this is not, it's not like this man dropped out of nowhere. He has been in power before. You have seen the track record. People are telling you this is what he is. He's not even denying it. He's not denying it. He's not making any effort at all to show you that, no, I'm different. No. But then you are going ahead to vote for him. How do you make such a person understand that there are consequences?